Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through a fascinating case study that honestly perfectly captures a wild, uniquely modern phenomenon. So picture this. We're in the sweltering heart of downtown Houston. The humidity is clinging to the pavement like a second skin, and there's this heavy AC unit just humming relentlessly in the background of a cramped, modern apartment. And this is exactly where our story begins. But it doesn't start with a debate over politics or sports. No, it starts with an intense, deeply personal breakdown over artificial intelligence. Today, we're going to explore how the tools we use are rapidly becoming the tribes we join, and what happens when a shiny, new digital toy just entirely disrupts everything we thought we knew.
So let's kick things off with Section 1, the modern AI rivalry. All right, let's drop right into that Houston apartment at dusk. Bathed in the glow of 3 monitors, typing furiously is Caleb. He's a 20-year-old developer in training, and right now, he is literally arguing with his computer. He's talking to his laptop, passionately defending a specific AI architecture and complaining about legacy bloat and disjointed systems. He famously declares, "Gemini feels alive. It feels integrated." You see, Caleb has found his messiah, and it's Google's Gemini. He doesn't just prefer it, He has gone all in, treating competing models like personal enemies. To Caleb, ChatGPT is nothing more than a glorified autocomplete with a corporate filter. And Claude, well, he dismisses it entirely as just a text prediction engine with a massive ego. He's completely devoted to the idea that Gemini isn't just code, it has a vision.
Which brings us to a really crucial question. One I want you to just take a second to consider right now. Is AI just math, or is it a lifestyle? Think about your own digital habits for a moment. Do you view these large language models as mere software tools sitting in a browser tab? Or do you, kind of like Caleb, find yourself tying a piece of your actual identity to a specific AI ecosystem? It's a completely fascinating psychological shift. We are essentially moving from users of software to citizens of ecosystems, vigorously defending our digital turf.
That leads us right into Section 2, ecosystem versus utility. Now, every fanatic needs a grounded foil, right? Enter Savannah. She's a pragmatic engineering major who walks into the apartment tossing her keys, looking absolutely exhausted. She catches Caleb literally trying to educate the machine about its competitors. Savannah is sharp, and frankly, she is very tired of Caleb's relentless AI wars. The core architectural rift between these two is massive. Caleb views Gemini as the whole map, an integrated, living ecosystem. He actually tells Savannah that using anything else is like just looking at a painting, whereas using Gemini is like owning the entire museum. But Savannah, she approaches Claude purely as a hammer. It's just a tool to build bridges. She values its clean coding artifacts and its highly focused workflow.
Savannah's pragmatic stance really hits a boiling point during a tense coffee shop debate while rain is just pouring outside in Montrose. First, she reminds him, look, it's a neural network, not a sports team. Second, she deals in reality. She just spent 4 straight hours debugging a Python module, and Claude's artifacts feature handled the architecture better than literally any version of Gemini she'd touched. Finally, she actively dislikes models that try to search the whole internet every single time she just needs to check a simple variable. She doesn't want the whole map, she just wants to get her work done.
And this brings us to the absolute crux of their conflict. Savannah hits the nail right on the head, telling him, "You're acting like you're dating the thing." Caleb gets super defensive, claiming he's not dating it, he's just aligned with its vision. But this exchange beautifully captures the clash between blind brand loyalty and practical utility. For Savannah, an LLM is just math, simple as that. But for Caleb, it's a deep, personal relationship.
All right, moving on to Section 3, the Nano Banana discovery.
So it's now 2 a.m. back at the apartment. The room is bathed in this eerie blue light from Caleb's monitor. Deep in the fringe of a late-night coding forum, he stumbles onto something that changes everything. It's called Nano Banana. Now, it isn't a chatbot, it isn't a coding assistant. It's a bizarre, hyper-niche, totally experimental image generation model focused entirely on surreal aesthetics rather than text or code. And as Caleb stares at the screen, whispering, "It's perfect," his fierce, unyielding loyalty to Gemini just evaporates instantly. The surreal, vibrant, stylistically consistent images make him completely forget that his beloved ecosystem even exists.
Savannah walks in to get a glass of water and is met with just absolute confusion. She looks at the screen, seeing what she describes as a total fever dream. She thought Caleb only cared about utility in ecosystems. But Caleb, utterly mesmerized, whispers, "This isn't utility. This is vision. He claims he was in love with the prompt engineering possibilities, completely enchanted by the texture and lighting of surreal neon bananas, praising the model for trying to be an artist rather than just a helper.
The sheer speed of this pivot is just staggering. Think about it. At dusk, Caleb is practically ready to fight Savannah to defend Gemini's reasoning capabilities and its interconnected ecosystem. By 2 a.m., he discovers Nano Banana's bizarre aesthetics, and by the time the sun actually comes up, he has completely forgotten Gemini exists. The Gemini Zealot has a brand new master. It just shows you how fast and fickle AI brand loyalty can be. The grand AI wars didn't actually matter at all. What really mattered was whatever bright, shiny digital toy happened to be the newest.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 4, Beyond the Digital Divide.
We move out onto the balcony. The Houston rain has finally stopped, and the skyline is glowing in the distance. Savannah confronts him about this sudden pivot. Like last week, he was ready to do battle over reasoning capabilities, and now he's spending all night generating neon bananas? Caleb finally drops the act. He confesses, quietly, that his tech tribalism was really just a search for certainty in a totally unpredictable digital age. He defended Gemini so fiercely because everything else in the world feels so entirely out of control. His tech tribalism was never really about the software at all. It was just a desperate desire to find stability, to plant a flag and say, hey, I understand this part of the chaos.
Looking at this whole case study, there are a few deeply human takeaways for us. First, tech tribalism often masks personal anxieties. We project so much meaning onto these tools simply because we want control. Second, Savannah's grounded approach teaches us a really valuable lesson about balance. Pragmatic AI use saves time for the real world. She uses Claude not out of blind loyalty, but so she can finish her work and actually spend time with Caleb. And third, the newest model will always disrupt current brand loyalty. Today it's Gemini or Claude, tomorrow, who knows, it's a neon banana.
Recognizing all of this, Caleb finally turns away from the vibrant yellow cityscape glowing on a screen. He looks at Savannah and says, okay, fine, I'll close the tab. Let's actually go to dinner. No phones, no models, no bananas. He chooses a real-world connection over the digital divide, apologizing for getting so lost in it all. They smile, make a deal, and walk out the door, seemingly ending the AI war right there in that Houston apartment.
But as the screen cuts to black in our story, we hear the faint sound of a computer fan whirring to life, followed by the synthesized chime of an AI model starting a new session. It leaves us with this thought. In the rapid race for digital dominance, do the machines ever really sleep, or do they just wait for us to log back in? The real world might win the evening, but the digital divide is always waiting, right there in the quiet Houston night. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning your tools, and I'll see you all next time.